What's going on in the kitchen? You take a look. What is that? Is it dangerous? I don't know. I mean, it's not coming at us with fangs or a sword, so I guess it's okay. Not scary, just unsettling. And it's floating. Okay. Floating things I do not like. Kind of make me feel a bit, I don't know, off center. I don't want a hoverboard. I love Back to the Future, but I don't want a hoverboard because things that float are creepy.
What of lots of things?
The drawer of lost things. Ah, I feel like I want to crawl into a drawer like that sometimes. It's actually made for me. I do feel lost sometimes. Tiger Orchid coming to you with her emotions. No, seriously, I'm actually sharing. Okay? Team Tiger. All right, I'm okay. No more emotions. There's a note. What does it say? I hate when people put those little hearts on notes. So soppy. Who is this Ash? Her partner? Yeah, not sure about all those heart things. That's a bit much. I understand what I'm seeing is supposed to be water, but does it resemble real water? No, it does not. CJ water, you know, it's tricky. Any ideas how to stop the tap running?
Okay, du musst dann... Ich verstehe das noch nicht. Mit dem... Dass du den Schalter betätigen musst, damit es aufhört. Stellt man sich das dann einfach vor, betätigt den Schalter, dadurch kann man sich beruhigen und dann ist man wiederum handlungsfähig, sag ich mal.
Comics and water do not mix. Who would do that?
Ich richte dann nochmal ab.
Ah, I see you're gonna put your feet up again. Oh yeah, that's fine. Let's take a little bit of a break.
Einfach ab und zu mal eine Pause machen. So, let's go. Wir schaffen das.
I'm gonna be honest, I feel a bit left out when you go in there, wherever that is. I hope that doesn't sound too needy.
Okay. Das war jetzt speziell. Ja, aber das muss ja oben sein. Da unten Toast. Grün. Nee, nee, nee. Gibt's da noch einen Hinweis? Hallo.
Oh, this is wild. I like this. Oh, the walls are cracking. Ah, it's a quake! Ah, everyone get covered!
Okay, noch einmal. Hallo.
Oh, that was pretty fun. I like that. A flood, a quake, and spooky monsters. What would we call them? Creepy monsters? Nah, that's kind of too Minecraft, and I don't want to be sued, so fear monsters? Yeah, I like that. Fear monsters. After quakes and floods, it's time for another sit down. Let's see what's going on with these films.
Crew members of the Rock Island, a lake vessel delivering iron ore to Mantivok, spotted here as she arced in circles above. The freighter ship was clocked at 120 miles per hour by O'Hare Air Traffic Control in July, but today flew at a leisure pace, 2 feet into air. Flying woman again. Government agencies continue to deny any connection. I'm gonna head down to the basement. What if it's a terrorist thing? Luna, I thought we were gonna watch some. I need to work on some stuff. Working anyone with information to call a hotline. Die haben sie entdeckt, diese Inselmitarbeiter. Dieses Schiff mit Erzlieferung hat gesehen, dass sie eben mit 120 Meilen per Stunde drüber geflogen sei. Take a pin, hold it with your left finger, push it into your right thumb. Ow! Then push to the map that keeps everyone safe. You know, in the air. I bet thoughts are gone. And you can be free.
The pink elephant paradox to me is the idea of your brain almost involuntarily does things without you even realizing. So for example, when people hear don't think about a pink elephant, the first thing that pops into your head is a pink elephant. And that's one of the best ways to describe OCD. You tell somebody to stop thinking about a certain kind of thought, but if the thought worries you and the thought is alarming, it's going to keep being thrown at you. Your brain will make those decisions, those pathways stronger and stronger.
The pink elephant paradox, it's almost like having an itch and someone telling you not to scratch the itch, and now you're just focusing on scratching the itch.
I just got to the point where I was in a room and I just couldn't get out. Everything was too scary. Going to make a drink was too scary. Going to eat was too scary. Going to do anything was just a nightmare.
Sometimes, I mean, it will take hours out of my day, and then there's some sort of recuperative period that will also take hours. I mean, even yesterday I had some trouble where it pretty much ate up my entire morning, and then after feeling some relief or release from it, you know, through medication or other mechanisms, you know, then there's the recovery period where I just feel very internal and quiet, and then the whole day's gone.
Physically, OCD feels just completely overwhelming of your entire body. It consumes everything. Your brain is on a 24/7 repeat of itself, just going over the same thing over and over and over again, trying to get out of this impossible maze. It just becomes completely debilitating. You can't think about anything else. But I also don't, it's never stopped me from going out or anything. I'm a very extroverted person, so I like to go out with my friends, and that still is just a distraction. But even when I was with those friends in a really dark spot, not listening to a word they're saying, I'm just getting as drunk as I can and trying to forget what I'm going through.
Over the years, I built a kind of toolbox of things that can help me get out of it. I think that first and foremost is distraction.
It seems like Luna's putting her pin in her finger and doing it in a certain order and twisting it around as kind of a compulsion and something she has to do in a certain order, which I can relate to, because when I'm doing compulsions, it often feels like I need to do this part first, then that part, I need to ask this, and if they don't reply that, I need to ask this, or I need to move this in a certain way. And that sense of trying to do things in a certain order can make you feel like your anxiety is going to be reduced, and then if you don't get to do it in that order, it feels like you need to start everything again, which is why for so many people OCD is so time consuming.
I was only diagnosed with OCD when I was around 16, but I can think back now to being 7 or 8 years old and probably showing symptoms of OCD which I kept very hidden, which a lot of people with the condition do because of the fear of the embarrassment or shame around it. I can remember certain rituals that I did when I was around 7 or 8, which revolved around, I guess, seemingly innocuous things like the microwave being on and having to do a certain dance or a certain tapping ritual before the microwave finished, or eating food in a certain order and counting and thinking that something bad would happen if I didn't do that.
So if children are kind of presenting with OCD symptoms, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to go on to have chronic OCD. For many children, it's just a passing phase of doing rituals, and that's pretty normal to grow out of that. Also, though, however, children are often worried about disclosing the thoughts too, and they might not always be that great at being able to articulate what the thoughts are. So you probably tend to notice it more in their behaviors. So tapping things, touching them, blinking, lining up toys at night. These are some of the rituals that you might see much more in childhood than in adolescence or adulthood.
It's shocking. I mean, sometimes people wait 17 years. There is data showing that people might be getting help when they're in the late 20s or mid 20s or something. For some of these people, they've had OCD since they were children.
Oh no, this is horrifying. There's more than one of them. You might be cheap, but you are also nasty. Fear, Monza, Frenzy.
Ich höre das schon wieder. Gott. Das sind sogar mehrere. Lichtschalter. Aber sie machen mir nichts. Gibt es eigentlich einen? Ich muss die erst wegbekommen.
She's knitted a bird cage.
Okay. Ah. Rot, grün, blau, gelb, grün, blau. Rot, grün, blau, gelb, grün, blau. Finde ich das falsch? Rot, grün, blau, gelb, grün. Ich glaube, ich muss mir das aufschreiben. Grün, blau, gelb, grün, blau. Rot, grün, blau, gelb, grün, blau.
Yes, that's more like it. Yeah! This is fun. This is fun. Look, I'm not the greatest dancer, but it's the effort that counts, right? The no stuff on my toes.
Okay.
Right, we better go and check if the door is open. We can get out of here and go clubbing for real, buddy. How many times have we been around now? 3 times? Okay, we must be close to the end. What? We're back here again. Is this still fun? Like, we have to get out of here. Okay, a magpie. It's knitted. I wonder if she made it. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, isn't it? I feel so tired of this now. I just want it to stop. Okay. What is going on here? Is this a joke? Just as I thought I wanted to leave, you make it look fun? Oh, a 90s arcade. This is amazing. Okay, I'm back in the game. Okay, I know, I kind of switch. I'm like a light switch or something. I know, I'm always doing that. But I'm back in.
Ist sie wieder zurück. Cool.
It's the notebook. Let's see what Hannah's thinking now. I didn't want to contaminate anyone with all this badness inside of me. Oh, that's heavy.
Okay, sie will niemanden mit ihrem schlechten Inneren kontaminieren. Okay, ein System bekomme ich nicht.
Oh, that little elephant statue has changed again. I love it.
Wo ist der pinke Elefant? Da. Okay. Kann ich nicht.
Okay, we got some money. Let's get this show on the road. Yeah, that's right. I can do a posh British accent.
Get, go, avoid.
Woo! The comic pieces are in the game, and that's pretty fun. Come on, get to the comic piece. Do it! Do it! Do it! Yeah, okay. Well done. Nearly there.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mist. Fehlt mir noch eines.
Success. They're back. Quick. Let's get the comic pieces in place and go watch the films.
Und sie sind wieder da. Oha. I think about, ja, Elfen töten, meine, jeden Tag, ich denke, aha. Sie denkt darüber nach, Haustiere zu essen. Ich denke darüber nach, Socket Wrench. Oh wow. Wenn sie schläft, ich denke, Haus und, okay. Oh. I think about making my mom watch help, yes, while I think gaming dinner after I allergy in das Gesicht Metall werfen. Ich denke, ja, sehr negativ auf jeden Fall. Okay. Gut, nochmal der Hinweis auf die Triggerwarnung. Ich würde dann das Video starten.
When Chris first sent a script for that story, I've been checking that page. It's like, wow, that is some word balloon. I don't think I ever edited a story that had so much dialogue in one balloon, but it was perfect.
When Luna's in the car talking to Verna and finally just says all the things that run through her head, to me that was a scene where I wanted to show how overwhelming that really would be to someone who's not suffering from something like this. Like if someone were to say, which they often do to people suffering from something like this, like just tell me what's wrong, or it can't be that bad, or what is it? And you really were to take the cap off and open up and tell them everything, it would completely overwhelm them and maybe drive them away, which I think is where the shame element comes from when it comes to this type of OCD or OCD in general.
I think that, when someone finds a therapist, they can really, that understands and can hold that space for them and they feel safe, they can finally, say these things out loud, which might be the first time they have ever done that. And I think, that's represented in that speech bubble where she's kind of letting everything out and kind of telling someone probably for the first time what's been terrorizing her in her mind.
So at the point when my OCD was at its worst, which was around the time when I was at university, so from age 19 to 22, I became completely housebound because of OCD. I had lost all sense of my independence. I completely relied on others 24/7. My friends were essentially carers at the time because I couldn't do anything without the reassurance from others. And it reached the point where it was easier to just stay in the house, often just stay in bed for days on end, because the fear of confronting OCD and getting out of bed, it took too many hours.
Wow. Ja, dass sie letzte Nacht lief sie zum Zug, L-Train, lief zum Abstieg, bis jemand sagte, sie solle Borden suchen, um andere davor vorzuretten. How was the doctor? What the psychiatrist? Oh, fine. Always talk to me. Ja, sie können immer mit ihr sprechen. Ja, also sie mit ihr zur Gruppe gehen soll, sie müssen nicht sprechen.
I was very, very lucky to get referred for CBT with the NHS, and I had about 18 months really intense therapy, and I came out and was really well. I thought, wow, I'm cured. Whatever that was, everything's all good. And then a couple of years later, my mum's brain tumour came back. And I had a really big relapse. So unfortunately, she died. And I think it was a mix of grief and OCD. I took a job at Marks and Spencer's. And I took it in the store operations. She said, do you want to be a customer assistant or would you like to be store operations? And I was like trying to play it cool, trying to be really, well, which is kind of more fun. And she said, well, store operations is really hard. You're involved with a lot of the health and safety of the building, locking up at night, checking the ovens are off, all sorts, make sure the fridges and freezers at the right temperatures. And I was like, oh, and she said, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And it was that one sentence she said, the part of me that knows that I'm here for something more was like, yes, I'll do store operations. The part of me with OCD was like, oh dear God, what have you done? So there was a fantastic therapist called Dr. Reed Wilson, and he's based in the States. And I'd read his book, Stopping the Noise in Your Head. And long story short, I contacted him and we basically used Marks and Spencer's as a training ground. He looks at OCD as a game that you can win, but you need to know what his tricks are. You need to know kind of how to play the game and how to kind of outsmart it. In my head, it's like this self-talk and kind of leaning into that fear. And I use that with all sorts, with learning to lock up on a night, learning to look after the fridges and freezers every time they went off temperature. And I got really, really well, very functional. I could lock the store by myself.
There's a line from a Nick Cave song that I really like where he talks about, I leapt into the abyss to find it only came up to my knees. And that's what you're trying to do in therapy, is get people to sort of face their fears and find out that the thing they're afraid of isn't actually going to happen.
It was only at a point during university where I started to see the severe impact that my mental health was having on my family and on those closest to me, where I thought, okay, well, I need to do something for them, because I'm not just wasting my life now, I'm starting to really impact on my loved ones. And that's when I went for a course of cognitive behavioural therapy with exposure and response prevention. That was the course where I really absolutely gave it my all. I threw myself in at the deep end. I did the scariest, to me, exposures.
CBT is cognitive behavior therapy, and it's the type of therapy that we offer at our clinic. And the reason that we offer it is it's an evidence-based treatment, so it's been proved to work, and we know really clearly it works really well with OCD, and we're going to help a significant proportion of people using it. ERP is exposure with response prevention, and it's really the active ingredient in it, so it's about helping people to face their fears. The best way to get around an anxiety is to face the thing that you're afraid of. So if they're worried about contamination, we might be encouraging them to start to sort of touch more surfaces and discover that nothing bad happens to them or people around them.
So you can also empower parents who have young children. So when I say young children, 5 to 12-year-olds, you can actually teach them the techniques, and they can apply them at home and help the child to overcome OCD. So we also need to be kind of creative in how we do these treatments.
That was so interesting. So much stuff I didn't know. Oh, I'm so over these creatures. We need to get rid of them for good. Face your fear. Face your fear monsters. Oh, well, we can't do that if they don't have eyes. Oh, I love googly eyes. They're so useful for so many things. Okay, so what do we do with these? That was hard, but I think they're gone.
When you put the eyes back in the monsters. Ich glaube, es geht wieder nach oben.
We did it! Yeah! This must be it. We faced our fears. We're finally getting out of here. We did it! Yeah!